welcome back to another video on the She Talks Systems channel. My name is Nicola Melinda. I am a verified ClickUp consultant, and in today's video I'm going to be walking you through how you can utilize ClickUp's task types to help you to organize and categorize the tasks that you are bringing into your workspace. Not every task that you are adding into your workspace is necessarily going to need to have a due date attached to it or be delegated to someone to action. Some tasks are more for admin reasons or informational purposes. So by using the task types inside of ClickUp, it makes it much easier for you to organize all of that information and data. And as you get to a higher level in your hierarchy, whether that's at the space level or everything view or even on the dashboards, it makes it a lot easier for you to group, filter and view exactly what you need to view. So what we're going to walk through today are some use cases. So whether you have 10 or 100 projects inside of ClickUp, you'll be able to take these use cases and apply them to your own workspace, which will no doubt support the way that you and your team are currently working inside of ClickUp. I'm going to show you how you can set these up. This is something that's been out for a while as a feature, but you may not yet have tapped into utilizing this feature as much. So let me show you some use cases as to what this could look like for really narrowing down your task types inside of ClickUp. Now, to find this section outside of just selecting a task, what you can do is just go into your settings and go down in the menu options, just go to task types here, and this will pull up all of the task types that are inside of your workspace. Now, tasks can be used for anything inside of ClickUp, and this is one of my favorite features because for those of you who like to manage admin tasks, client meetings, invoicing, team time tracking, form responses, there's so many different use cases. This is going to be a really great option for you to utilize inside of your workspace. So you can see I already have some set up. We've got a task type for billing, for client management, retainer tasks, and even an SOP. And if you scroll down, there are some recommended task types as well. So these are some frequently created task types that you can literally click and add straight into your workspace. So ClickUp is already encouraging you to utilize this feature. So if you're not already, I definitely recommend having a look at it. At the top, if you click on create task type, this is where you can actually start to create your own types of tasks. So you can select different types of icons. So let's just say we are creating an ad campaign, for example. We can just select our icon here and let's just call this an ad campaign. And let's just do a plural name there as well. Now you can also add in a description, which I do recommend, because if you start to build these out inside of the workspace, it's always good to understand what they should be used for, how they should be used. I'm definitely a fan of implementing instructions and best practices, because when you're working with a team, it's much easier to ensure that everybody understands how to use certain elements in the workspace. So we've added it in our description and we'll create our task type. So you can now see that this is a new task type that is added as well. So we have lots of different task types that are a part of the workspace here. Now that you've added those in, you're able to go into your workspace and start to put them into action. So what we could do is create a new list, and let's call this monthly campaigns, and we'll create that list here. Now what we have the option is to create a task, so we'll call this let's say April ads campaigns. And this is really just a demo, just to show you exactly how it can work. So we've added in our April ad campaign. This is a parent task, so you can see it has the same status. But what I can now do is select that task, and I'll go to more down below, click on task type, and I can now change that task as an ad campaign. Now what it means is that now anything under this task is going to be deemed as an ad campaign, but I can add in some subtasks. Let's say We'll just add in some subtasks there. Now, where I've added in the subtasks, what you'll notice is that these tasks are still staying as actionable task types. So they haven't been added as a task type themselves. They are actionable tasks. So if this is the parent task and all of the project details are going into that parent task, then we have our actual campaigns, and we can add to these tasks in the description. We can build out our custom fields as well, so we can add in additional elements for each individual campaign. If you work with clients on a retainer basis, let me also show you how this could work if you have a multitude of clients who are retainer clients, but you manage various different tasks as well. Let me show you how you can also use the task types to help you manage that process inside of ClickUp. So you can see here we have a retainer task. At the moment, this is set as a milestone. So again, what I want to do is update this task type, and I'm going to click on the task type, and I've already got one which is called retainer task. So I'm going to update that task type for me, make sure that it is set as a retainer task type. And then I have all of my various tasks that are required or that will be actioned while we're working with this particular client. I've also added a tag on that client, so just tagging in the client name so I know who that relates to. And the reason I've done this is when it comes to task types, it's not just at the list view that you'll be looking at this data. You can also be looking at this from at the space level as well. So if I go into the space level view of the client space, I've got a list view here which is called retainer clients, and already I can see that this is filtered. So we're using this to also track time as well and see who the assigned team members are. But you can see here that we've got 2 clients on a monthly retainer. Their client company names are tagged, and we can also expand these tasks to see what work has been done on these tasks over the course of the month. So having these task types and being able to filter based on it being a retainer task makes it much easier for me to be able to, at a higher level, just group the tasks that I need to see and have that data in place. So what about if you are working with clients and you also want to manage client admin inside of ClickUp? How can that work? So let's create together a admin view inside of your client folder. So what I'm going to do here is create a new list, and we're going to call this client admin. And so this is a great way for you to be able to manage budgets, meetings, client meetings, back office tasks for your clients. So let's add in monthly invoicing, add in some tasks here. Okay, so we've got a couple of admin tasks that we've added into this list, and you may have more based on your process and what you do in your business. But for this use case, we're just going to keep it simple. And so I'm going to select this task again. We'll go to more and just click on task type. And where this is monthly invoicing, I'm going to update this to be a billing task type. So I just want this to be a billing task type. And what you could do if you want to be able to manage the billing every single month, you could add in the months for this particular task. So you could say April, May, June. So this is a monthly invoicing. And also, if you wanted to, you could add in custom fields to differentiate this is for 2025. Or you could also add in the tag so you know which client that this monthly invoicing task also relates to as well. Same goes for the monthly meetings. So if you do meetings with your clients on a weekly, monthly, bi-weekly basis, you can also have your tasks in place here. Now, the benefit of this as well is if you are taking any notes, or if you are working with the team and there are messages that need to be shared with the clients, you can also use this as a way to capture updates from the team, so then you can relay that back to your client. So you could either add that into the description or use the activity, and your team members can just add their updates into this task. So when the client meeting does come around, you know exactly what to pull in for the agenda. You can also link in any documents as well. So if you are using ClickUp documents to take notes or share the agenda, you can link that into the task as well. Now, again, what's really beneficial is that with these task types, you can always filter this at a higher level. And so that's really the biggest benefit that I want to share with you today, is how you can categorize and organize all of this work that you're bringing into ClickUp. So I'm creating a new view here at the space level view. And you can do this at the everything level view as well. It doesn't have to be at the space level view. But in this area, what I'm going to do is create a view. And what we're going to do is switch this off. We're going to group it based on the task type. So we have all of our different task types, and this will bring everything in within the space level view. But what we want to do is filter this. So it's just for the admin task type. So let's filter it down even more. And we'll say billing. And you'll see that we can select more than one. So I could pull in billing, I could pull in form responses if you're using forms with clients. I could also pull in my client meetings as well. If you wanted to pull in SOPs, if you've got an SOP space in your client area, you could pull that in as well to this view. But it just filters it down for us. So it makes it a lot easier to see these different task types. In this case, it's allowing us to be able to see a lot more. So when you have multiple clients, let's just say you've got 20 plus different clients, lots of admin tasks that you're trying to keep a track of, this is a really great system for you to be able to organize in one area inside of your ClickUp space. So your project managers, your account managers will easily be able to go in here and update the data, add in the data, capture the data that they need in order to continue on with their day-to-day job. So something else that you can also do with the task types is you are able to automate your task types inside of ClickUp, which again is another plus. So for example, we've got our retainer tasks, we're back inside of this list, and every task that I put inside of this list is a retainer, it's a monthly retainer task. So this may be for the month of March, we're going to do a new one for April. So let me set up a automation, and this will make it a lot easier, especially for your team, when it comes to just setting these projects up. So you can set this task as a recurring task, but I'll do it as an automation just for the purpose of this demo so you can see how it can work. So what we can do is inside the automations, we can say that when a task is created, and in this case, we're going to just call it a task, not a subtask. So you can differentiate whether this is a task, subtask, task, or subtask. So we'll do it when a task is created. And then what we want to do is set the task type. So we're going to change the task type. Instead of it being a task, we want this to be a retainer task. And so that will allow us to ensure that these tasks are always going to be filtered up as in the right category when it goes through filtering to through the hierarchy. So we'll create that automation. It's just a simple one-step automation. We'll add in a description here. And then that is our automation set. So let's run this automation. Let's put in April retainer task. So we can see that the automation has run for us. So we've got the task type in place automatically, and then our team can go ahead and start to apply any of the tasks that they've worked on for that particular retainer client through that month. And that's just really one way where you can set this up on autopilot inside of ClickUp. You could also utilize the task templates. You can use recurring tasks as well inside of ClickUp. So there are a couple of options there when it comes to making sure that these tasks could be applied in the workspace. This is just one example that I wanted to highlight for today's video. So I hope this demo has been quite helpful for you and given you some ideas of how you can utilize the task types so that you can really start to organize your data, organize your tasks a lot more. As we said at the start of the video, not every task that comes into ClickUp is an actionable task. So it's good to be able to differentiate what those tasks are for, how they should be used for yourself and for your team as well. If you do have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them below and I'll be sure to pick those up for you. And if you're interested in getting some help with ClickUp, I'll link my services below so you can check them out, and I would love to speak to you on how we can improve your ClickUp workspace. Thank you so much for watching for today's video, and I will see you on the next one.